Hi, I'm Lucy from Sew Essential and I'm here today to share my latest make with you. It's a very exciting one. It's a authentic vintage re-release. Everything I talk about today is available on our website. You'll find links to our website and our weekly newsletter below for a healthy dose of sewing inspiration straight to your inbox. So the pattern I want to share with you today, it is 50 years since Diane Von Ferstenberg invented the wrap dress, and to celebrate that we have released a new pattern, a Vogue pattern that is an authentic vintage re-release of that wrap dress pattern. So I'm just going to show you my version now. I decided to go for full-on 70s vibe. As you know, I love the 70s, and I chose this fabric because it's got this awesome geometric print which just felt very, very 70s and very fitting to this beautiful wrap dress, which has got all the classic wrap dress features. It's got a gorgeous big collar, which I absolutely love and think is such a fun feature. The wrap is lovely and high, so there's no gaping, there's no sort of low cut element to this. It's got a lovely high crossover, which I really like. It's got gathers at the waist on the front, and then it's got a belt that's not an afterthought, it's a real feature, which I love. So it's a really sort of dramatic wide belt that comes down into a point at the front, which echoes the points of the collar, and then you've got these awesome big cuffs which also echo those points as well. You are supposed to sew the cuffs together with a button, and I didn't have a button. I didn't realise I needed a button, so I've just stitched those together for now, and I will be finding the perfect buttons to finish it off. And then at the back, I really like the fact that it's got shoulder darts, and then it's got pleats at the waist for a bit more shaping. The skirt is a gorgeous, gorgeous shape. It's a sort of flared skirt and it just hangs beautifully. It's in two pieces at the back with a centre back seam. And I just adore this dress. It's so comfortable to wear. It feels so elegant and grown up. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And I've got it on with these chunky heeled knee-high boots for that full-on 70s vibe. But you could create so many different looks with this dress, and there's lots of different options for different fabrics as well, which I'll talk you through. But as I say, I went for this knit fabric for a definite 70s vibe. You'll find the pattern and the fabric on our website. I'm going to put links to everything below for you. But yeah, this reminded me of Carrie Bradshaw wore a very 70s DVF dress in Sex and the City, and Jodie Foster wore one in Taxi Driver. I think it was Jodie Foster, correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I'm really, really delighted with it. I think the fabric works really well. It's got that full-on 70s vibe, and it's just got all these classic, beautiful features, but it's also a very, very easy sew. So let me just talk to you a bit more about the pattern. So it comes in sizes from a 6 to a 24. The 24 is a 46-inch bust, 39 waist and a 48 hip. I made a 12 at the bust, which is a 34, and graded out to a 14 at the waist and hips, which is a 28 and 38. And as I said, I made it in a knit fabric. It is sized for wovens and knits, but it says single knits, I think. Such as cotton jersey and wool jersey. So the knit I used is a very stable knit, and therefore I just cut the size that I would have cut in a woven fabric, because although this fabric has got stretch to it, it is very stable. It's not massively stretchy, and I think it worked really well. The only thing with this fabric I would say is it perhaps was just a little bit on the heavy side for this pattern, and it's worked out fine, but I think it's just the belt, because the belt is so it is wide and there's a lot of it. That sort of was the weight of that sort of could drag it down at the front, but then once it's wrapped round, it's absolutely fine. The skirt's hanging beautifully. It's got all the movement that I want to see from it. So yeah, that worked out okay actually. But you can make this dress in a range of fabrics, so I've got some other inspiration for fabrics for you. But yeah, it runs up to a size 24, and you can make either a maxi length version or the version I've made, which hits just below the knee, and it's just so elegant and beautiful and easy to sew. It is super easy to sew and just so easy to wear as well. As I said, I feel really comfortable and confident in this dress, and I love the fact there's no gaping at the front, which is often a problem with the wrap dress. I love the fact that you've got this collar, which is just an interesting design feature, and then echoed on the cuffs, on these lovely pointy cuffs, just different to all the other wrap dresses you would see because of those vintage details, and it is an authentic vintage re-release, as I said. So I'll just show you some of the other fabrics. I had a chat with Gina from Simplicity McCall's last night, and she made hers in a knit fabric, well, a jersey fabric as well. She used a viscose jersey that was quite stretchy and lighter weight than the one I used, and she just said she sized down for that. So I picked out this gorgeous viscose jersey fabric that we've got. I'm pretty sure it's a viscose jersey. I'm going to pop links to all the fabrics and the pattern below, but yeah, this one I think could look beautiful sewn up into this wrap dress, but you might need to just size down. You'd have to just check that when you were looked at the fabric and just have a bit of a think about that. But we've also got this gorgeous viscose jersey, which I think is screaming out to be made into a wrap dress. It's like a navy and cream design. I think that would make a really classic wrap dress. It reminds me a little bit of the one that Carrie Bradshaw wore in Sex and the City that I was talking about. And then also I got some inspiration from the pattern photos. There were some really cool monochrome versions, and we've just had this really lovely monochrome ex-designer dead stock. I think it's an ex-designer dead stock. As I say, links to all the fabrics below, but there's some jersey fabric inspiration for you. And then you can also make it in woven fabrics. And I thought this fabric would look great sewn up as this wrap dress. So it's got like an animal print design, and then a floral print on top of the animal print, which is very, very on trend for this season. And then the other thing that I spotted recently that's very, very popular at the moment is polka dots. So we've got a polka dot ex-designer dead stock fabric here, and I thought that would look beautiful sewn up into this dress as well. Just a really simple black and white design. Thought that would look really, really pretty. And then we've also, if you want to go for something really pretty and floral, we've got this gorgeous lyocell fabric in. It's just absolutely gorgeous. It's got like a pale sage green background and then a magenta and purple floral design on it. So I thought that would work brilliantly as well. It's a really versatile pattern. I think it would work well with a wide range of fabrics. I'll link this fabric that I've used below for you as well. But yeah, I think you could create so many different looks. And as I said, it is a very easy sew. So the first thing you do is construct the bodice pieces. Then you construct the back skirt by sewing the centre back seam. You sew the skirts to the bodice and join them at the shoulder seams. And then I think you join them at the side seams as well. And then you basically place your collar. You sew your collar, place that on the neckline, and then you just use a facing all the way around the neckline to finish that front edge of the dress. You put your belt on as well and catch that in the facing as you sew it on, and then you construct your sleeves and add these cuffs. So it is very, very simple. There's no zips or buttons or anything like that for you to worry about. Although there are buttons on the cuff, they are just sewn on through the different layers of fabric, so you don't have to make a buttonhole. So it is a very, very simple sew, a really enjoyable sew. I whipped this up ever so quickly, and yeah, I'm just really pleased with it. The fit worked out really well. I was really pleased. Normally I'd have to raise bust darts quite considerably, but they seem to be in the right place for me, which is quite unusual. And yeah, the sizing was just great. The construction was easy. I've thoroughly enjoyed making it, and I'm really enjoying wearing it it today and showcasing it to you guys. So I'll give you one more twirl. Don't forget, we've got copies on the website of the pattern. You'll find this fabric on the website as well. One of the things that I did, a little tip, I took a lot of time to make sure I was pattern matching, so I'm really pleased with how the pattern matchings worked across the sleeve. At the front here, I've managed to get it sort of joining up and coming across, but one of the places I really had to watch it was down that centre back seam and also the side seams here. And the tip that I used, which I'd really recommend to anybody, which worked brilliantly, was to use some of our Wonder tape, which I'm going to put a link below for you. And I've also featured it in an overlocker tips video that's going to be coming out soon. But yeah, if you just use Wonder tape to stick the stripes together and then sew it with your overlocker. You could do it on your sewing machine as well, but you'd probably use a walking foot on your sewing machine. But if you're using an overlocker, taping the fabric together so that the pattern matches and then taking it to the machine, it just meant that, you know, nothing went awry as it was being fed through the machine. It was brilliant. It's such a great tip. I'm definitely going to use that every time I want to do pattern matching on my overlocker. But yeah, I'm really pleased with how that pattern matching worked out across the front, and then I think I've managed to match pretty well across the back as well. So I didn't use the tape on the sleeve seams because that's a bit more complicated, because obviously you're working around a curve and you're easing the fabric in, but certainly on the side seams and the centre back I did use the tape and it worked like a dream. So I hope you've enjoyed that today. I hope you're feeling inspired and excited about the 50-year anniversary of Diane Von Ferstenberg's The Wrap Dress, which was just an iconic dress and just changed everything really. You know, the fact that we could have a dress that was a wraparound and we didn't have to use fastenings and buttons and zips and all the rest of it, I think was a real breakthrough for women's fashion, in my opinion. But as I said at the start of the video, I've linked the pattern and all the fabrics I've mentioned, and I'll link the Wonder tape below as well. So I hope you join in the fun, join in the 50-year celebrations and make your own gorgeous DVF wrap dress.